the master, the mind, the genius behind probate and inheritance records. Rob Badhorn here with Lead Fusion. We're live in our 5-minute video, or maybe a little bit more than 5 minutes, but packed full of information and a special announcement at the end. So stay tuned. Ernie, today's video, we want to do a quick chat about probate leads in pre-foreclosure. Is that a problem, or is this something that, you know, people see as a problem, but really maybe not as a problem? So take it away. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big problem today. I mean, if you stop and think about all of the challenges that a poor heir has to go through with the inheritance of a property, and now the fact that they have to go through probate, the fact that this property is sort of kind of sat on the sidelines while they've been going through COVID. Now lay on top of that the fact that this property has a mortgage. And, you know, for the most part, most American households don't have, you know, a lump sum of cash sitting around to pay an additional mortgage, right? Especially a property that isn't really doing anything for you, producing anything. So, and that's how we get a lot of these foreclosures that are going through probate at the same time simultaneously. And so now what you really have is you have to identify these challenges when once you see these leads in your batch that we deliver over to you. So you know, you get your batch, and then soon you understand that there's a property going through foreclosure. What do you do? Well, very first thing that you have to do is you have to identify what the problem is, and you have to identify what kind of a foreclosure it is. And so the reason that I say what kind is because in probate, there are a couple of things that you want to be on the lookout for. The first one is the most common in probate, and that is reverse mortgages. And so in probate, you'll find that the majority of people that pass away are elderly people. And so nowadays, more and more of these elderly folks have reverse mortgages against their property. And so a reverse mortgage is essentially a loan that is issued to somebody that is over the age of 65. And, you know, it's a way to help them, you know, really have some cash and some liquidity on hand to live, right? And so
Ernie, there's a ton of things that we could go into on reverse mortgages, right? I mean, there's a lot of ins and outs and issues that, you know, we had talked about even before this video, right? And we could take up 30 minutes, you know, on a reverse mortgage. I think what the best thing to do here on the reverse mortgage issues specifically is maybe create another video on our YouTube channel that people can go into a little bit more in depth on reverse mortgages and kind of the ins and outs on what to do there. So if it's okay, I'm going to hold you to this here, and let's put a YouTube, a video on our YouTube channel. It's in the comment section. You can go and subscribe now on reverse mortgages, specifically in probate, and what you really need to do from a step-by-step process. Because I think that's a really important thing, especially now where people can't afford 2 mortgages. You know, they just inherited a house along with the mortgage, and they can't, you know, service 2 mortgages, especially if people are out of work. I mean, it's just impossible. So we're going to see a flood of these come in just because of that, right? So sorry to interrupt you on the reverse mortgage, but I think we should go into much more detail in another video on our subscribe channel. So
sure, yeah, and there is a lot that I can talk on as far as the reverse mortgages go. I mean, the floodgates are about to be wide open. I mean, foreclosure moratorium is about to come to an end, and that means that many properties will be in foreclosure, but that will also affect our probate segment of the marketplace. And so, yeah, one, you want to identify what kind of a mortgage that is. If it's a reverse mortgage, then you deal accordingly with it, and we'll talk about that later. And if it's a you know, traditional conventional loan, then you know that is dealt differently as well. There are ways to stop foreclosures that are going through probate in the court, and we can talk a little bit further on that next video. But what I do want people to understand is that there's an opportunity, as always, to be of great service to a community that absolutely desperately needs and wants your service, and that is here in probate. So I look forward to that opportunity where we can go into that a little bit deeper with the folks.
Yeah. And so just to kind of go through the steps here. One, you got to know your leads. What is the scenario they are in? Are they in a conventional loan? Are they in a reverse mortgage type of loan? That's the reason why they're going to be in pre-foreclosure, right? And then really work with the options available to that petitioner or that executor or the attorney, help those people out through this process, as they may not know it or they may know it, but typically they don't know it. And so really be a service to that petitioner and that executor during this tough time. So that's definitely it, because there is definitely ins and outs for conventional and especially for reverse mortgage that we'll do in that next video, YouTube video on our channel. So like and subscribe below. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel so that when we do release that video, you'll get updated with it. Click on the little notifications on the YouTube channel as well. Anything else we want to talk about for probate and pre-foreclosure? Ernie, I didn't mean to cut you off so much here.
Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, just know that they're here. Not only are they coming, but they're actually here. My team and I have conversations with people on a daily basis, and as a matter of fact, today we just had an incredible conversation with a home owner and an heir of a property, and this person happens to live out of the state. And I mean, literally, the words that came out of this person's mouth were like, "Please take this property off my hands." My question was like, "How fast do you need to sell?" Like yesterday, like
Yeah.
I have a ticking time bomb called foreclosure, notice of default. Can you buy this now? And you're going to see more of that. So
Yeah, because
get ready.
people want to get something out of the house, right? And that's the nice thing, nice service that we provide is rather than getting nothing, right, going through foreclosure where they can't afford the mortgages or whatever, now they get something out of the house, which is, I think, what everybody wants, right, in the end. So,
Right.
hey, we have one more thing up our sleeve here, Ernie. What is it? We are announcing our website, leadfusionlist.com. It is in the header here to this live broadcast. What can they get on it, Ernie? What can they get on leadfusionlist.com? What's so special?
There's so much. I mean, we've talked so much about probate leads, but guess what? We're going to talk about the inherited lead list niche. And in that niche, we're going to look at a couple of different segments of that market. One is your pre-probates, and these are people who have essentially have passed away, and now these heirs have to go out and file a probate. We've got that lead for you. Two.
Well, wait a minute. How do you get a hold of these heirs and these relatives?
Well, you've got to have the right contact information. Nobody out there has this information but us. And I mean, nobody has the information of the living relatives who are essentially going to have to go out and file a probate petition. So that's lead source one. Lead source two are what we call trusts. So there are many people that did the right thing. They put their property into a living trust so that they would have to avoid, or so that their family members could avoid probate altogether. That's great. Thumbs up for that. But what happens to these properties? At the end of the day, they also have to be sold. Well, guess what? We've got that list for you as well. People that need to sell these properties that are in trust. We call those trust administration leads. And then we've got spousal properties. This is where a spouse is still alive. So much that really goes hand in hand with probate, but at the same time, it's a different type of lead, and we've got those ready for them.
So we're really covering both bookends, right? One on the probate side where it is going through some legal court, action, and then the other side where, okay, they did their job, right? They did a will, they have a trust, they have set up. That's still going. Those properties still are going to someone dealing maybe with the same issues, that they're dealing with in probate, pre-foreclosure, whatever.
Right.
But now we have that second lead source available to our customers. And
Yeah.
the nice thing about this lead source is the same thing with our probate records. They're fully skip traced. So the decedent, the petitioner, the attorney, the relatives in the probate file are fully skip traced, phone numbers, emails, addresses, and so forth. We're available, obviously. And in the same thing with the inheritance records. Now you get the deceased, their phone numbers, their emails, etc. The property that's attached to it, really important here, right? We're not just having an inheritance list where no property. That doesn't make sense. I mean, as an investor, why would you pay for leads that don't have real estate attached to it? That's crazy. So This is real property attached, number one. Number two is it's fully skip traced, and you get the relatives. right? So,
Yeah.
which are also fully skip traced. So now you get their phone numbers, their emails, their addresses. Again, we're available. Our researchers do the best to try to find those leads across the country, nationwide. So check
Right.
out the website, leadfusionlist.com. We'll have the lists in there. You'll have the counties. You can select them, request counties for probate as well to be run through and purchased as well. So check it out. And we'll leave it at that. Anything you want to throw at that, Ernie?
Yeah, no, it's just exciting. I mean, every single person that I've talked to about these leads is asking me, well, wait a minute, hold off. Wait, trust leads are supposed to be created for the fact that it has a privacy sense for the for the heirs, right? So nobody is supposed to know. How are you guys doing that? Well, that's part of what we do, right?
Part of the magic.
Part of the magic, exactly. So it's exciting. At the end of the day, you're looking for people that are really in need of selling and liquidating their estates, whether it's a probate, whether it's held in a trust, it really doesn't matter. You're looking for that person, and we've got that person ready, queued up for you to take over.
All right.
So,
Awesome, Ernie. Hey, so again, like and subscribe our Facebook channel. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, because we're going to be putting more content in there weekly and really kind of get in depth, something like reverse mortgages and probate. What are the issues with going through pre-foreclosure and reverse mortgages? Check it out. Thanks, Ernie. Really appreciate your time again this week. And let's look towards next week as well.
Okay.
So have a great week and have a great weekend that's coming up here.
All right. Awesome. Make it a good one.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.